wanted to resign. A pastor, discouraged by criticism, wrote his resignation letter. Before mailing it, a teenage boy knocked on his door and said, "You changed my life. I want to serve God because of you." The pastor tore up the letter. God sent encouragement at the exact moment he needed it. God will encourage you exactly when you need it, but you must not give up. You know, there's an analogy about the foggy glasses, and it goes like this: discouragement makes life blurry. You see through pain, not truth. God wipes the lenses of our spirit so we can see his plan clearly. Praise ye the Lord. What a mighty God we serve. There's a quote that goes along with that, and it says, "What looks like the end to you is often God's beginning." Again, be strong, be courageous, do not be afraid, and know that God will lead you and guide you through every phase of your life. All you have to do is just remember that he is God, and he said, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Joshua had some very big shoes to fill, but the same God that led Moses was now leading Joshua. And God can lead you through all the trials, the ups, the downs, the discouragement. All you have to do is call on him and trust him. Lean not upon your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean upon him. All right, my brothers and sisters, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Darrell Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
That's what we're doing here this morning. Sheriff Barker's almost here. He just texted me coming up the road. Coming up, he'll be here in just a moment, and we'll get Russell on the radio here in just a few moments on Ask Your Neighbor. If you got questions for Sheriff Barker, if you want to call me, you can go ahead and ask those questions. I'm sure he's listening as he runs up here, but you can go ahead and call with those questions, and as soon as he walks in the door, we will address them. 865-457-1380 or 877-711-4005. Otherwise, I'll take a break here, get Russell in here, and get him situated in just a moment. This is Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH. Today, it's Ask the Sheriff. So we'll be right back and do just that with your questions. And then when Sheriff Barker gets here, get him on the air.
When you need it in print, call C&D Desktop Publishing and Printing, 865-457-4264. Business cards, brochures, White House diagrams, specialty items, or anything you need to have printed. C&D Printing can take care of it. Make your business look good. Make your event flyers look great. Make the call to C&D Desktop Publishing and Printing. 865-457-4264. Located at 345 South Charles Evers Boulevard next to McDonald's. C&D Desktop Publishing and Printing.
Powell Clint's Utility District wants to make your next home improvement a success. Their appliances are made with you in mind to update your kitchen, laundry room, and provide you with endless hot water. Want to improve your outdoor living? PCUD sells griddles, grills, and fire pits, all powered by natural gas, so you never have to fill a tank again. They also offer appliance installation and 0% financing added directly to your monthly bill. Visit PCUD Showroom in Rocky Top, their website at pcud.org, or call 865-426-2822 to learn more. PCUD is your natural gas provider.
Transform your home with the elegance of Karen's Carpet on Clinton Highway in Powell, offering luxury vinyl planks from Stanton and engineered floors, and carpet selections from Mohawk, Shaw, Dixie Home, and Dreamweaver. Discover the richness of Bruce Hardwood. Our products are designed for style and durability, providing the perfect foundation for your living space. At Karen's Carpet, it's not just about flooring. It's about crafting an environment of comfort and beauty. With free in-home estimates and financing available through Synchrony, upgrading your home has never been easier. Experience the quality and service that have made us the store that gives you more. Visit Karen'sCarpetSales.com or call 865-945-3353 or stop by 1961 Clinton Highway today to start your home transformation. Karen's Carpet, the store that gives you more.
Good morning, everybody. Sheriff Barker's in here with us. We're talking about cold bones. It's a little nippy out there, isn't it?
It is.
It's a little chilly. And like I said, guys, if you have questions for the sheriff, call and give them to Jay, and he can bring them in here, and we can ask. So, everything good so far?
Yeah, everything's...
Just throwing you right in the fire.
Yeah, everything's, busy, like always. Lots going on.
Mike called earlier and asked me to ask you, do you know anything about a fire that was over in Westwood?
You know what? I was just getting that.
Okay.
Let me find it.
And I know that we were getting a bunch of calls yesterday because down at the Clinton Animal Clinic, they were helping to retire a police dog, right? But it was from another
agency,
Loudoun County. Loudoun County, yeah.
Sheriff Davis called me and said, I guess they were putting it down.
Yeah.
And some of their guys came over with the handler because those guys develop a pretty strong bond.
Oh yeah. So,
on the car fire.
Yes.
That's actually inside the city, Westwood Estates.
Thank you. There you go. So we'll get that from Mike later. So what else is going on? How's everything else? Here we go. Getting into, on top of everything else you got to do, getting into the silly season of elections.
Yeah. A lot going on there.
So I know Mr. Bailey, who had originally put his hat in, decided that he wasn't gonna run.
Yeah. So Carl made that announcement on Facebook that he suspended his campaign. Then he and I met the next day.
Yeah.
And just talked a little bit about it. He has a desire to do that. Has as long as I've known him.
Sure.
And it felt right, but when he kind of got cranked up and going with everything else he had going on in his life.
Sure.
His new position as captain over operations at Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Grandbabies coming, and grandbabies that are here.
Exactly.
And then he takes care of his mom and stuff. So
life.
He just said he couldn't really give the time that he thought it would be required.
And so your other two, and I don't know either of the other two gentlemen. I don't think Mr. Davis or Jennings. I don't know them, but I'm going to start, since we're getting into it. Obviously, I'm going to offer them time to come up and talk about whatever they want to do as well. So here we are. So we don't really have a lot. We don't have anything bad or controversial or anything going on. I mean, we've had. I mean, the library stuff is back up, but you've already served your. You know what I mean? You served in the capacity of the sheriff and as Russell. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I don't think we got anywhere else to go with it.
So when that first kicked off, I think as a whole, Anderson County, I mean, there were people who were completely advocating for them, for sure, right? I believe as a whole, if you were to put that on the ballot, those books would be removed.
Yeah.
However, laws don't allow that. So I suggested that we, as a community, because when you go to apply criminal law to social issues, it gets weird.
It gets sticky, doesn't it?
Because, I mean, as I explained in my letter I put out to commission and lots of people, I take the material, line it up to the statute, and just call balls and strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. My personal opinion doesn't matter. Their feelings don't matter, regardless of which way it goes.
Sure.
And so I'm not sure that was exactly the way it needed to go. And I expressed that on multiple occasions. I think that
it should be kind of a community standard kind of thing. The
absolutely.
Community itself.
But my suggestion to those who brought it to me was, okay, these same titles are available on Tennessee Reads, right? Or award-winning, read to the root, virtual library, right?
Yes.
So you do a couple things. You call your legislators, bring it to their attention, and then you change. You try to get these appointments on these library boards. You get active.
Sure.
And you squeeze it from both sides and hopefully get the results you want.
Seems like that's been taking place too.
Absolutely. Yeah. But boy, it's painful getting there.
Boy, it has been. and it's still, whoever's feeling pain, somebody's squealing because, man, it's been coming up a lot lately.
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing that I wish, and it's never going to be this way because we're humans. But it's you can do it without all the
in your face
and rhetoric and things like that.
You mean Nazi Hitler book burning? Yeah. Wanting to ban books, burn books. I've not heard anyone want to ban them or burn them. I have heard folks ask them to be removed from these libraries, but not make them illegal elsewhere. Right. Even at that, I think pretty much folks have settled on just get them into an adult section, where kids can't just meander into. Yeah.
So again, something I've said countless times. It's ultimately not government's call. It's to the parent if and when their child is exposed to that.
I think so.
And I get it. Some people are more engaged as parents, and some aren't. So, look, and that's not necessarily a slight on anybody because you can be completely engaged, and these little rascals find ways around it.
Oh, yeah, they do. Absolutely. So, well, hopefully it's going to work it out. I think that, the board has set new policies, and they're trying to enforce those policies and make sure they're followed. And I think should the policies that Shane talked about when he was here be enacted and followed, I think that'll cover everything. It's kind of trickled down the way he explained it. He said, the president had the executive order saying there's a man and a woman, period. Yeah. And he said, their board kind of took the same thing as the board. They said there's a child and an adult. There's not a baby child and a middle child and a teenage child. It's children and adult section. Yeah. So if there's something that's adult, it's 18 and over. And if there's something that's child, it's 18 and under. And they instituted that, and then the fact that those books should be moved into that adult section. So if that happens, that fixes it. That's it.
Absolutely.
Said and done. I don't think anybody I would wish that no one on either side would complain. Nobody's completely happy, but that's usually the best solutions.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got to serve everybody, regardless of their political affiliation.
Absolutely.
Their personal beliefs. And I promise you, we've never responded to a call and said, are you left or right of center before I get going?
It don't happen. I get it. Well, no news is good news, I guess. What else you want to tell folks about that's going on?
So we are in the middle of a few things. Outside of just our day-to-day running of the office. Our work release program continues to grow, and it's incredibly successful.
How many you have on that now?
Now we're at 11. So started at 4, we're at 11, and we've had probably 2 cycle off, maybe 3.
And when you say cycle off, they
flatten their time.
They flatten their time, pay their bill, and go
no more time, and all of them are currently employed over there.
That's cool.
And they never miss a beat. As a matter of fact, I rode and took the work release crew to and from, because we send 2 deputies.
Mm-hmm.
So I went one day and watched these guys, come out with their lunch pails packed, hop on the van, listen to them carry on. They get over there, watch the process of them going in. Then we picked them up. The day we picked them up, one of the guys who had flattened his time and got out, he showed me his new truck he had bought. It wasn't a brand new truck,
but it was new to him.
New to him, and for the first time in years, he had a valid license, and was gainfully employed, and seemed to be doing really well.
That's got to make you feel good.
Man, it's incredible.
Because you have to be harsh on so many people so much of the time to be able to help somebody and see it.
Yeah, the key there is, and look, it's easy to, trust me, it's so easy to get jaded when you get burned a few times. But some of these folks, because the screening process is pretty
stringent.
Yeah,
it's probably a good thing.
You have to because it's a little bit of risk on our part. But they're paying their own ankle monitors. They're paying off the court costs, back child support, whatever they've got going on, restitution, and they just have gaps of information that they just never learned. So you get a ticket, you don't pay it, they tell you your license is suspended till you come see us and make this right, and they just don't.
Yeah, they just don't.
And then they ride around for a decade.
They got the license in their hand, they think they're good to go till they're not.
Yeah, and then they ride around for a decade, and so it's just some basic life skills, really. And kudos to people who are willing to employ them.
Who runs? Do you have somebody that's just over that program, or?
Yeah, that'd be Sergeant Gustafson. Okay. She is was there at Ground Zero, and started. It was Chief Allen's brainchild. Yeah, I mean, it was something he brought up as soon as I got into office, and of course I was like, dude, let me figure out where the keys go first, right? I got a desk full of keys. I don't even know what they go to. And so we were very slow, methodical, and intentional about it, because, you see these people who walk off from work crews and stuff, and
right,
so it had to be right, because these guys are on ankle monitors, but we don't have a deputy there.
Yeah, so
they
get a head start if they go.
Yeah.
Well, that's sounds like it's working out good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. As we watched them accept this responsibility and succeed in it, we've done a few little things, like we put together some of the staff put together a Thanksgiving Day dinner.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it was outside what we serve general population, and we allowed their kids and family to come in.
Well, that's cool. Kind of as a reward for them being in.
Yeah. And now it used to be everybody wanted to be an outdoor worker.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was the job everybody wanted. Well, now everybody wants this one.
Sure.
Because it's legitimately work, and you're actually getting paid.
Yeah.
As opposed to just getting sunshine.
That's got to help with behavior.
Absolutely. So we got guys who are signed up for some of our programs that historically had no interest.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, you sit in a classroom and then go back to your cell. I mean, I can understand why they become easily frustrated and think,
But with this, they're out, they're doing stuff.
There's a goal. There's something to achieve.
Yeah.
If they can get it all in place.
I know you started the process with commission, budget, operations, all of that, looking to try and get a wage that you feel is competitive.
Yeah, it was, Ron, it's more than just competitive wage, right?
Yeah.
So 15% is the magic number to get us competitive again. But as I told Budget Committee in the workshop, this is something that has to be maintained. It's like when you plant your garden, you got to go out there and weed it, and we're going to have to do that. It's not a 15% fixes it, or we're going to find ourselves in 2 or 3 years addressing this again. Since I've been in office, Commission has been very good to us.
Yes.
And they have listened, and I think Robbie gave a number of 23% of pay increases. The issue is prior to our arrival, right?
Yeah,
there's a decade in there when we went back historically and looked to where I don't know why I was at Clinton chasing weed eaters and bad checks. I can't tell you why that commission didn't address it, or the sheriff at the time, but I think the one thing I want the listeners to know is this ultimately is not about a bunch of greedy deputies wanting to be paid more. It is literally market driven. We're seeing people leave us and going to other agencies for more money. Period.
Well, have you ever thought of, we could, if you wanted to compare, we can't compare to the plants, we can't compare to the like state of Tennessee, but have you ever thought about maybe just taking a 8, 10, 12 county area and take the wage of each of those county sheriff's department deputies, put them in a hat, shake them up, divide it by 8, and that's what that's what the average is. And try and get it to that.
Yeah, we've done salary surveys.
Okay,
and we gave that to all the commissioners, and shown what around us are paying. Right.
Yes.
And it's complicated because fringe benefits have to come into play, and I get that. And that's always, as an administrator, it's always a struggle. Okay.
Sure.
Because health insurance means a lot more to my older population.
Yeah.
It means a lot more to my guys and girls that have families.
Yeah. My
23-year-old deputy that lifts weights every day and runs, who never gets sick. He's worried about his boat payment.
Yeah, I got you.
As he prepares for summer.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you.
So it's so I have to balance that, and I get at county commission, I absolutely get that they are responsible for the entire all county employees. I understand that, right?
Yes,
but 3 things to that point. One, it's not I was not elected to advocate on their behalf, right?
Yeah.
I'm the sheriff. This is a sheriff's office issue, and it is completely market driven. 2, we are different in the sense that I say, and it's becoming a worn out line, but we're paid to do violence on the behalf of the citizens.
Yes.
So they don't have to, right? Not that they wouldn't,
but
it's just the truth. Part of that presentation, the first 7 minutes was a video. It was a collage of our greatest hits, showing what happens, what we do, and it was
body camera stuff.
We had some dash cam, and we had videos from our jail.
Gotcha.
One was from patrol. We had a naked guy come up out of the ditch and punch the officer.
Oh Lord!
When he was just simply giving him commands to stop. And then of course the jail. I mean, we have more fights in corrections than we do on the streets.
Yes,
because there's still the hope on the side of the road. I ain't going to jail. So sometimes they comply or they just run, right? Yeah. But once you're incarcerated, there's nowhere to go. So if I want to fight, let's just fight. I mean, that's their attitude. So it's different worlds, but parity and pay is incredibly important. because we've seen significant changes in retention and quality of applications
because of the increase that you're able to.
And so we're seeing that now. It's some places do it. We're not the only one in the state, but I would imagine that, and I don't know this, but I'd imagine it's less than half.
Are you talking about trying to put something in place where there'd be an automatic, like a pay increase that just kicked in as
COLAs and stuff, cost of living? I mean, you have to do that. We have.
Well, they do that. They do cost of living. Isn't that automatic, pretty much?
Yeah, but so we look back and where the gap really occurred.
Yeah.
Was like there was some years it was 0.5%. With no
cost of living was 0.5,
and it's never 0.5%. I mean, it's just not.
But was that across the board for everybody?
Yeah. Well, I only looked at mine, so I can't say that for sure.
Okay.
And then, and so it's market driven, and we are different. We're different because of what our tasks are, and we're civil service.
Yes.
So we're already treated differently.
Yes.
We have rules that we have to follow. As a government agency that the rest of our elected officials and other government groups don't have to. And then in addition to all that, public safety, in my opinion, is and I know it's yoked with education, but at the end of the day, public safety is, you have to start with a safe community.
Yes.
Or people are not going to move here, no matter how good your schools are. People are not going to invest in your community from a business standpoint unless they think it's a safe community or believe it is.
Do you also take into account that we're growing? I mean, just go down the interstate down by Ray Varner Ford back there. They've already, I don't know how many houses they've got built back there. And those things are going to fly because those houses, I think they're 1,700 or 2,000 square feet, $300,000. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a house for $300,000.
Yeah. No,
so they're going to fly, and there's already a bunch of them. There's going to be a bunch more go pretty
absolutely.
quick.
Yeah, the Harris County's growing.
But I mean, do you guys have some kind of mathematical where you say this many officers for this many people, and then do you just wait till the census comes out?
We base it on calls for service.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Our calls for service, and we know that when these new neighborhoods and developments come in, that we know it's going to come up, but we don't know to what degree.
Okay.
And that's what we monitor and look at calls for service.
So you play catch up for a year. In other words, let's say they pop up today and all of a sudden your calls increase 10, 12%. You fight that overage until what? Till budget time next year?
Typically, yeah. But in this specific instance, I asked for it right now, out of budget cycle, and it hair lipped them. The price tag hair lipped them.
Yeah.
But my argument was.
Are you talking about the 15% price tag? Okay.
Yeah, and of course I wanted it now.
Do you know how much that is in annual dollars, real money?
$2 million is what Robbie's put on it.
Okay.
Right. And it was $1 million to get through the rest of this fiscal year.
Yeah.
So, and my example is, and this gets outside my lane, but in the 7 years I've been the sheriff, through our board bill, where we've housed state inmates, right? We have generated $14.9 million.
Okay.
In 7 years of being the sheriff, we have returned $8.5 million of our budget.
Of that 14?
No, that's in addition. So we've generated $14.5 million, which the board bill goes to the general fund.
Yes.
And then you give me my budget every year. I have stayed under, in 7 years, $8.5 million.
Well, why not just use part of that $8.5 million to the $2 million if you already have it in your budget?
I don't know.
You don't know how that works?
I don't know how it works. But I've planted some seeds.
Okay.
Our board bill this year, we expect and this is, in my opinion, conservative, we're going to hit 3.5 million. So I don't think it requires tax increase. I don't. And look, I live here too. I mean,
well, sure.
And so I mean, look, I get angry when I see my tax bill, but then I live by our taxes, you know.
Exactly.
So I'm in a unique spot. But the thing I'm telling you is, and this was my soapbox speech to budget and to the workshop. It's no different than what we do in our households. We have our income and our
expenses,
and we adjust. You know, if our groceries cost more at a given part, we cut back on our cable.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I know exactly.
I mean, so
what you mean.
that is my whole point. I think, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I think the money is there, but we have to make tough decisions and make sure that we are
allocating,
spending our resources where they need to be.
Well, I ask you this: the developed property in Anderson County has changed, pretty drastically over the last
7 years.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Is there not a way to take and see what the percentage of growth is, and then allocate that to our department? Because if your constituency, if your citizens have grown 7%, wouldn't it be normal to say it's going to cost us 7% more to operate, since that's who we're serving, especially those of you, first responder, sheriff's department, fire department, those of you all that go out into the community. Like for fee-based people, where you have to go in and get your car tags, that'll happen too, because now there'll be more people coming in that live here that need car tags and want to pay their property. But it seems like for those of you that go out into the community, the costs would be felt quicker. So is there not a way to look at the growth and then apply that percentage of growth to what we're doing? I don't think that's out of question, because everybody knows if you add 2% more people, it's going to be 2% more to serve them.
Yeah, I would think.
Unless you got people dying while others are coming in, and I don't know. I think we're getting more people coming in than we are leaving.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's,
because they're going to pay taxes. I mean, that's brand new houses and people, that's new people, new taxes.
Yeah, Ron, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a dumb old cop. I mean, when you get into all that gets,
well, I
will say this, my conversations I've had with commissioners,
mm-hmm.
I think they recognize it, but I don't know, and I think they have the appetite, and I think the support is there.
They're just trying to find the way.
I think they're a little overwhelmed, with the price tag, and I think they're trying to figure out how to do it. Of course, the one thing I didn't take into consideration, I thought about it, but I didn't think big enough, in the sense of, like, some of my staff was like, look, I get it, but this is a terrible time to bring it up. Election year. And I'm like, I'm comfortable enough that it's okay.
Yeah, you might be, but somebody that's voting on it might not be.
Yeah, well, that is what I didn't. I was thinking only of my race, not commissioners who are seeking re-election.
Again, I'm never, ever for raising taxes if you can avoid it. And I think that you need to exercise everything you can to avoid it. And, when you look, how do we generate money in this county? Well, we generate it off of property tax. So when you look, I can just speak for stuff that I know of. I'll go to in the county, this is in the city, I think. It's in the city. But I'll just still use it because the county makes money. When I developed that 26 acres out there, I probably had under, I don't know, $400,000 in all of it when I bought the property, and then, I don't know, double that again to develop it.
Yeah.
And now those houses alone are selling out there for $800,000, more than it took me to build the entire thing. So what it was worth the day I bought it, when I paid taxes before I developed it, was astronomically different when it was developed. Now it's astronomically different one more time for those homes. If you just take that percentage of growth, it's pretty substantial to the county. And so I don't know why somebody can't put pencil to paper and say, here's the money. This money was not here 2 years ago or 7 years ago. And it just came. It's brand new money. What are we going to do with it? Just let it keep going into the rainy day fund? Or is it, that's, again, I'm thinking like a business. That's how I run the business. You know what I mean? Like, we need more money. We go out and we find it. We look for it. We go bring in new businesses and stuff like that. We can't necessarily do that. Our Chamber of Commerce recruits people, but when they come, that's new money. That's revenue.
Yeah.
So, be interesting to see how much there is of it.
So one of the numbers that I'm looking at, and hopefully I'll have into this week. I'm really curious. I wish I'd been tracking it. How much my office has generated in grants? Because I know in 1 year we got $3 million.
And that money, you were able to use that instead
of technology upgrades, instead of going to county commission. We've never went to county commission out of the budget cycle. That's the first time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
But in 7 years, I've never went and said, "Hey, we need more money." Let me rephrase that. I apologize. I misspoke. We did just before COVID when we had an overcrowding issue, but we were in great shape because we had Unit 1 that they had built years before my arrival.
Yeah.
And then the minute we didn't need it anymore, I shut it down and returned the money. So
what if, let's say they choose not to do it or they can't do it, what happens?
Great question. So historically, we've seen the turnover primarily on the correction side. And there's a couple different things that go into that. One was the pay, and two, it was just the job itself. Very, very difficult job, toughest job I've got. Parity in pay solved a lot of that, because we get corrections officers from other counties and from the state. We've had them come from the state and take a pay cut because their environment is so tough.
Gotcha. So, you got that up to par.
Yeah. So, and so the culture of corrections is a little different than operations, but we were blowing and going, and like programs, work release, those guys get excited about that, and they like to be forward thinking and forward moving in that industry. But for the first time, we're seeing on operations people leaving,
patrol leaving at the same rate of
really percentage wise at a higher rate,
because there's fewer of them.
Yeah. And so so you got on the road we have 32.
Yeah.
Right. I've got about 83 at the jail. Right.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it's
3 to 1 almost.
Yeah. And so what it looks like if we can, we're going to keep coming to work. We're going to keep doing our job, right? But we're going to have to look at, as our call volumes increase and running, particularly as we are right now, short, right? Because it's making vacations, training. It is impacting a lot of things besides response time.
I bet.
We're going to have to look at that and do exactly what I'm advocating commissions do, and look at how we're responding to things and where we're putting our efforts and energy. Right.
Here, I'll give you a chance to dig a hole. What do you think they should cut? There you go.
Well,
you gonna leave that to
you get a chance to dig a hole. That's great.
Well, at least I warned you.
Yeah. No. Look. At the end of the day, the sheriff's office is a constitutional office through the state.
Yes, sir.
I have my big four. I'm required to do. Right. The jail, courts, civil process, and keep the peace.
Yes.
Okay. Anderson County provides a lot of services that don't fall under those four. Okay.
Yes. That aren't mandated?
They aren't mandated.
Okay.
Promise you, I don't want it. Citizens ain't going to want it, right? But we would have to, and typically in real life scenario, what's that look like? You wait longer for your theft report.
Gotcha.
You have a fender bender. We may tell you exchange information.
Yeah.
And leave.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because there's certain calls we have that mandate, just because of the nature of the call, require more than one deputy.
Yes.
A domestic, right?
Yes.
We can't send a deputy by himself or by herself on a domestic. So and those things take priority and fall under that keeping the peace, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you could make the argument, yeah, Ron hits the corner of my car. Police don't show up. It may be unpeaceful between me and Ron before it's over with, depending on our attitudes that day.
Exactly.
Right? But then that changes.
That changes the nature of that call.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, look, I honestly, I don't think it's going to get there.
And this is not an Anderson County problem alone either, is it? We're looking at this state and nationwide in a lot of
100%.
Yeah.
And law enforcement is in such a weird category, right?
Yep.
It's blue collar, but it's not. Right. I mean, because of technology.
It's changing. It's evolving.
Yeah, and then you have to be smart enough to log on to a computer and operate and go through these complicated systems and forensics and DNA and all the things that you have to know and have working knowledge of. But then at the same time, you got to fight the naked guy in the ditch.
Exactly. So,
yeah, or be willing to.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I mean, I just can't stress enough. I mean, and again, we're insulated in Anderson County because our vast majority of our people, even the ones that think we need to be more like firemen, not be proactive, just respond when called, right?
Yeah.
They are supportive of us, but I just can't tell you the impact that our people are seeing, that your deputies, Anderson County, are seeing from the constant. I mean, nobody's ever in a good mood when we show up.
I get it.
I mean, they're having the worst day of their life, and they're the only problem on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Right?
Whatever is bothering them is the most important.
Yeah. And on top of that, the countless times you are spit on, or the whole thing at the jail where they defecate in a plastic bag and then stomp it under the door on you. I mean, and then you have a bad reaction to that, and you end up being investigated and sued, and I mean, it
seems to me that there's a tit for tat in there somewhere. I'm just saying, I
get it, but
you can't.
But statutes say different. Like I will tell you this too. Like there's a toll too that, and we're not unique in this sense, I guess, but for the average citizen. You take an electrician, he ain't dealing with this. But I'm with my kid, and she and I are actually moving her back into UT, and we're coming back home because we took one truck to get her carried in because it was all the big stuff was in there.
I was getting ready to say, you must have had it all done.
I had a mini fridge I had to get in there because she was moving back into the sorority house.
Gotcha.
But so she and I are talking, and she's getting exposed to a whole new world over there at UT. Right? And so we were talking about politics and what's happening around the world and stuff. And then as we entered in Anderson County, we're talking about things. And I explained to her that I have, when I pass certain roads and certain areas, I don't think, for example, there was a fatality. I worked at Flint. in South Clinton, a lady in the middle of the night. I don't remember the circumstances, but it wasn't nothing nefarious, DUI or anything. But I want to say she fell asleep or something at the wheel, but it was like 2 a.m. She leaves the roadway, cleans out this ditch, but at the end of this ditch is a culvert. She hits it. The car flips. She's not wearing her seatbelt. She gets ejected, lands on 25W. Patrol gets there because a semi coming down the road thinks her body is a bag of trash that had fallen off someone's car or truck, right? And as he gets upon it in a semi, he realizes it's human. He straddles it, right? But he was so shaken up from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course she was already deceased. But so patrol gets
kudos to him to be able to do that quickly. Gee whiz, that's a big thing. Anyway.
Of course, he was going to straddle it anyway because he thought it was a bag of trash, but it rattled him. He's the one who called it in. It rattled him to the core. And I remember getting there when they called out the reconstruction guy team, and I was on that as a detective. And when we get there, the car was mangled. And of course, we've got to shut down 25W. We can't move the body because we got to take measurements and things like this. And but I remember the heaviness of it and the panic because the trunk lid had popped open, and when this car flipped, and there was a baby stroller and items that
baby stuff.
Yeah, and so we're panicking, looking. There could be a kid somewhere that we've not found.
Yeah,
and it was just exhausting, right? And so as we're coming into town, I point out that location.
When you see that, that's what you think.
Yeah, and I have them all across the city and county. When I go down these roads, I think of, we had an armed standoff there that could have ended badly.
Mm-hmm.
And the accumulation of that really weighs on you. And you don't think of it, but it does. And so this industry.
Is it PTSD somewhat to a degree?
I read an article where so you have combat veterans in the military who go to these, Fallujah, and they have a 12-hour firefight, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may never discharge their weapon again. Then you have first responders and specifically police, because that's what I know, who see suicides, gunshot, murder victims, car wrecks. And they talk in this article described it as it's 2 buckets. The combat guy, his is turned on full blast, fills up. Your first responders, EMS, fire, police, it's drip. It's accumulation effect.
Yeah.
And of course, people hopefully are in our industry. Law enforcement has got a lot better about recognizing it and talking about it. Where historically it was, suck it up and go.
Yeah, you don't talk about it.
As I love to tell me on Facebook, you signed up.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
Well.
But so, and I think, look, we have to do that. Listen, I remember a fatality. A gentleman from out of state was involved. He was riding his motorcycle down here. He was on a little road trip.
Yeah.
Is a fatality, truck versus motorcycle.
Thanks.
And we did a debriefing under Scarborough, and that was really new to us when Rick brought that in.
To sit down and debrief the officers and make sure you...
Yeah. We sit in a room and talk about what we witnessed and how it impacted us with people who are trained in that.
Kind of helps get it out. And
allegedly. Right? So when Rick first brought that in, we were suspicious.
Oh, sure. What police officer wouldn't be?
First one I sat in on, and eventually, like, the city was really good about incorporating firemen, whoever's on that scene could come, right?
Yeah.
But I remember there was a public works guy who rolled up on it before first responders got there. And he was the only one that really took advantage of it because all the cops and firemen sat there quietly Like, they said what, I mean, they were trying to drag it out of us. You know, saying, so what did you see?
Yeah.
And,
a wreck.
Yeah. And they would tell a little bit, but the public works dude, like, he totally let his guard down and talked about.
Flipped him out.
Awful. I've never seen anything like it, you know?
Yeah.
And so we get hard to a degree, you know, when you see that. Like, there has been very few things that I chose to walk away not experience.
Yeah.
And the top one, the number one that really, and it wasn't even a scene. It was after the fact. I was at the medical examiner's office because I sat through a bunch of autopsies, and I'm not saying woe is me today.
No, I know that. I understand.
Because I've got to do some things that nobody in the world gets to do. Like, I got to be at autopsy, and I actually got to hold the heart.
Well, that's cool if that's a thing on your bucket list there, Russell.
It wasn't, but it was unique. But it was like the toughest one was we had a SIDS death.
Oh yeah.
And it was, I could not watch, you know, a 13-month-old autopsy.
No,
it was too much for me. So I told myself, I'm gonna have to step out of the room and just read the report.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
I couldn't.
It was too much.
I don't know how anybody could.
But to say all that,
there's a cost that even the increases, you know, there's a cost to be had.
Can't cover.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's important we support these men and women and do what we can do. And not to say we haven't, but it's time. I mean, again, it's mostly market driven, and as we grow as a community, and we want the best showing up.
At the end of the day, you know, I think everybody, for one, nobody understands it until you need them.
Yes.
And then when you need them, like you said, it's the most important thing in the world at that moment to you. And, you know, I think when the response time is as it should be, you don't really recognize it, you know, because you need it fast. You want it fast. If it's there fast, yay. You notice it, though, when somebody's laying on the floor, you know, and you're going into minute number 8 or 10, or, you know what I mean? You notice it then.
Yeah.
So
well, trust me, in a life or death situation, instantly ain't fast enough.
Yeah, well, it's true. Somebody wants to know, is the county looking at getting a drone program like the Knox County Police did?
We have access to drone, and we have a couple people who could operate it, and we have used it primarily for surveillance, for search warrants and stuff. As honestly as it's something that would be idea, right?
Helpful, very helpful.
It could be, absolutely, but we have more pressing needs at the time, in my opinion. That's kind of
a luxury.
Yeah, in my opinion. Right.
It's a police work luxury.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the more pressing things? The wages.
Wages are number one.
Okay.
Because wages is number one, and listen, we have. There's been a lot of talk about body cams, right?
Yeah.
That is, we applied for a grant for that.
Yeah.
A few years back, county commission gave us money to buy dash cams, right?
Yeah.
So what you get into with body cams is it's now evidence, and you have to have the whole chain of custody, just like you would if you picked up a knife from.
So at the end of your shift, it goes to the cloud, and somebody has to.
But as the defense asks for discovery, DA's office, we have to, and then it becomes at some point public record, right? Yeah. We have to redact a lot.
Do the officers have to keep that even if nothing happens that night?
Yeah.
So it stays for a certain amount of time, no matter what.
Yeah, and then it'll fall off to help manage the storage and the cost of running it. So we have dash cams, but they're not working right now. As a matter of fact, we are in the middle of litigation with the company that we purchased them from.
Okay.
And hopefully, because we didn't have the commission gave us some money. We purchased what at the time was this group that we were dealing with had 360 views, right?
Yes. 6
cameras per car, internal, 360 all the way around the car, and it was fabulous. They had a history of cameras for school buses, right? And they were top notch in that market.
Yeah.
They delved over to public safety. They missed the mark a little bit, right? and we couldn't come to any type of agreement because they told me to turn off 4 of the 6 cameras, and I said, "Yeah, that's not what I paid for."
Yeah, right.
And the real issue was,
is it storage?
Well, no, it wasn't that. The real issue what made it a deal breaker was the upload speed, download speed, whatever you want to call it. So we have these stations where the patrol car would come in and it uploads, right? We had them in various places. So you come into the Jolly building to do a report or to meet with a citizen, you could park in these certain areas and it would go ahead and upload what you have for that day. Well, what we learned as we started going through the process was it was not instantly, right?
Yeah.
So if at the end of your 12-hour shift, that car had sat there 12 hours.
Another 12 hours to upload?
Yeah. And we complained.
in real time. So it's uploading in real time.
Yeah. And we said we can't do that because these guys were working 12-hour shifts and we have to take home cars. So they told us to quit doing take-home cars. And I said, no, we're not doing that because we want them to respond on time. And plus, we don't want to leave a car running for 24 hours.
No.
And so we tried to work through that with different antennas and stuff with the company, but we got to an impasse. And so we've working on that right now. But the whole thing about body cams is it will almost create an entirely new position just for someone
to manage the body cam footage
and do the redactions and things. But it's heading that way.
Do you have to do that even if the footage has not been requested, or only when it's been requested?
Only when it's been requested.
Okay, so
yeah. So, but you're talking about any arrest, they're going to want it.
So you keep,
and then you're going to have people who are going to request it because they think their interaction with the police officer wasn't up to par. He was rude.
Gotcha.
You know.
Is there a legal time limit that you guys hold on to that stuff that you know of? Is there a state mandated or federal mandated?
No, I think it boils down to policy.
Okay.
If it's not evidence. If it's evidence, yes. There are guidelines for that. And that depends on, because you get into, so for example, you build like a drug case. You have this drug case and you've got surveillance equipment where you've secretly videoed the transaction.
Yeah.
You got to keep that through discovery, through the trial, and then you have to keep it for so much longer because they can get post-conviction relief.
Yes.
So it stacks up, and evidence management is a whole beast in and of itself. I mean, you know.
Do you guys do that, or does Rex's offices do?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when we first got here, we had a building down there. An evidence building behind the old health department.
Okay.
And the building's still there. And there were a lot of problems with the building and just, you know.
Yeah, it's an old building.
It being secure.
Yes.
So we took drug fund money. And this was Brian Galloway's idea, right?
Yeah.
We took drug fund money and inmate labor and built the new evidence building.
That's cool. That works.
And of course we had some businesses who kicked in because they were like, yeah, that's an awesome idea. So now we have standalone and it's at the jail.
Good.
And of course, that gave us a great opportunity to go through some really old stuff. And it's like this too. And once it becomes evidence, I can't. All right, well, the offender in that case is dead. The officer in that case is dead.
So you know you can get rid of it.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as us carrying it out and burning it, or we have to. There's statutes of how we can dispose of it.
Really?
And it requires the DA and a judge to sign off on it.
So you have to take this box of documents and say, we don't need these anymore, and we want to get rid of them. And they got to go
check it against their case file, make sure it meets the legal requirements, and then we take it before a judge, and the judge says, yes, you can get rid of it.
So have you done that? Have you culled it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still a lot.
I bet.
Because listen to you.
Lots of evidence.
I remember being on patrol and things I'd collect as evidence. No wonder CID hated my guts. You know, I don't know what that's about, but I may need it later. You know.
Yeah, hanging on to it. Well,
so
when's commission going to come up with either a counter proposal or a yes or a no, or how do you? They're still going through budget and operations.
They're trying. I think they're trying to get as close to the budget cycle as they can, right? But I've sent texts. I have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let it die on the vine.
Keep reminding
because our presentation at budget was very successful, and we're going to have to just keep it at the forefront. And like I said, I really, my take from the conversations I've had and from what I've witnessed, the appetite's there. Man, they just don't know how to do it.
They just got to find a way to do it. Yeah.
And I get that, and I wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
Yeah.
But it needs to happen. It needs to happen fast.
Yeah. Good luck.
Because the text I just sent out to all commissioners the other night, it basically was stating, we just had 2 more leave for another agency. One went to Knox, one went to Oak Ridge. The guy went to Oak Ridge to do the exact same job he does for us, and it was $10,000 more.
Huge. And less territory to cover with the city of Oak Ridge than the whole county.
Yeah, and then I learned, and it was this guy was an SRO.
Oh, wow.
So
it's exact same.
Yeah. So in addition to that, I learned that I've got 2 who are looking at retirement. So I'm going to be having conversations with them saying, can you hang on just a hair? Push that back just a little bit for me so we can get
somebody in here.
Yeah, so we get our staffing levels up. So it's important. And I sent that out to them, and not as, look, I would be less than honest if I'd say I wasn't trying to create some pressure.
Well, I understand.
But it was
urgency.
It was also some information they needed to know as they work through this. Like, as they try to figure out how they go about this, life is going on.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
Sure. And you still have to manage it.
Yeah.
And commit violence on our behalf.
Yeah. And to the argument for the rest of our county employees, look, if county can do it, I don't care. Give them all the same, 15%. But
sure.
At the end of the day, I was the only one that walked up and asked for it, right? The rest of these guys have it. And again, to go back to the market-driven, we're not losing clerks and other positions to these other agencies. We're just not. So
we're just losing deputies.
We're losing first responders. And to me, that simplifies it. But I'm sure you can fill Neyland Stadium with what I don't know.
And ask a silly question. Do you know if there's a difference in, let's say, somebody that works in the clerk's office as an employee versus a deputy? Is there a difference in
pay?
Yeah. I mean, the jobs are so different, I would assume.
Deputies make more.
Okay. And I think, that's normal. But I was just thinking to myself, the job that they have to do versus the job that you might have to do getting to be in an office. It's a lot different.
Well, Monday through Friday.
Sure.
A snow day's a snow day.
You guys don't have that.
Holidays don't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're scheduled to work Christmas, you work Christmas.
Yeah.
We still and always have, the command staff comes out and sends home around 4:00 in the morning. We send home the deputies that have little kids, and the guys who are coming on for day shift get to come in at 10-ish.
Late.
So they can be there for Christmas when Santa makes his run.
Gotcha.
But at the end of the day, at some point, instead of putting together toys, they've got to
come
put the uniform on
and come to work.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to sit and wait and see. And like you said, kind of a fun point in time to do it with the elections and such.
Yeah, I didn't think that part through on their behalf, and I apologize. I was just thinking of my own race, but
But it would seem to me if they can find a way to do this without it costing the taxpayers, without raising taxes, then it becomes a really good thing to run on.
100%.
Do you see? You know what I mean? Then we were able to increase this and do that and not charge you, the taxpayer, anymore. Now you're a good thing to run on.
And I'm sure it is giving heartburn to some of our people that are listening. But I'm telling you, what I said in that workshop was we have generated $14.5 million in 7 years. We have returned $8.5 million that you've given us. We believe, conservative estimate, we're going to hit $3.5 million this year on the board bill. I don't know how you tell us no.
So you're talking about give them back $3.5 million?
Yeah, from our board bill. We don't get to keep that money.
So if you don't use it, it goes back into...
The state of Tennessee is going to give us $3.5 million for housing state inmates.
Yes.
I don't use it. It goes back to the
to us. Yeah, the general fund.
So I'm just saying.
But why can't that be used into your budget since you're generating it?
I don't know.
And it's not a set number. It's a fluid number. So it's not like they can use it to budget. It's not like they set out and say, he brought in 700,000 last year, but this year $3 million. Let's bank on $3 million from now on.
I really don't know how that works. What the government does with that money once it's returned to them. But like, for example, when you look at the $8.5 million that we've returned in 7 years, we could have funded a lot of raises with that.
Sure.
And maybe there's I don't know. Maybe we link it to how we run our budget, meaning instead of turning over these excess funds when we do, save taxpayers money, maybe we issue that out some way as some sort of tax raise, or it's not tax raise, some sort of pay incentive
to allocate to that department or hold.
I mean, or allow us somehow. Like I know the schools have it. They have basically, I don't think they return their money that they don't use. I think they put it into a fund.
Once they're given the money, it's gone as far as county's concerned. It's theirs to do with what they want. Yeah.
Well, allow me to do that. I mean,
yeah. I mean that solves the problem. Doesn't change the tax rate unless they're budgeting on unseen guesses on what you're going to return, which would not be the smartest thing to do. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if they.
I mean, maybe they're budgeting on a low end guesstimate, but that fluctuates based on the state need and demand. And I guess you could guess that pretty well, but
yeah, I don't know.
Well, 7 years, 8 point some odd is only $2 million. Now you're getting ready to do $3.1 million. So if they're budgeting $3.1 million, we're going to come up short. If they're budgeting $2 million, they're going to come up with $1 million more if they're using it for a budget. So either way, I mean.
Yeah, but I think we just have to really, just like we do in our own personal lives, man. You gotta look at how you spend your money.
Things change. Life changes. Some things cost more than. I was going to say some things cost less. They don't. You do without some things, so they cost less. But you move, you change.
We have to decide what's important to us. Period. And I'm completely biased, but I think public safety, specifically law enforcement, if we don't have a safe community, then the rest is.
Well, when Shane was here Friday, he was talking about, and I don't want to botch this, but talking about budget codes. There was more in for the library budget, the library, than there was for first responders.
Yeah, that's
what he was talking about. They were trying to. He was addressing that. He felt like that. And again, I might be getting the wording but that's what he was talking about. And so I don't know if people agree or disagree with that. I think if you have ever used a first responder, you'll agree that that code is certainly as important as a library. They shouldn't get less, but I think more so.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay. We're excited about it. But from a campaign standpoint, we officially hit the gas as of Monday. So I took my enclosed trailer, strapped it up. You'll be seeing that thing dragging around town.
I don't envy you. I really don't. I don't envy any of y'all going into this.
So listen, this comes up every election cycle. And it's reared its head on this one. I just refuse. As jaded as I am about humanity, right? I just refuse to believe candidates are tearing down other candidates' signs. I think you have people out there, particularly in my business, there's plenty of people that don't like me.
Have we already got the sign gate going?
Yes.
Oh my Lord!
Yes.
Who's losing signs? I haven't seen any.
An opponent.
I haven't seen any disappear yet.
And it's. I'm going to tell you, it's you. Sometimes you just don't put them up right. Primarily, it's wind is your culprit. There's a pretty good significant of kids. I've got a report of we were looking for someone, and they found this treehouse that some kids had built out of. Okay, and they looked in the treehouse to see if the suspect was hiding in there. He wasn't, but they had taken 2 of my 8x10s and used it as sheetrock to insulate their treehouse.
Yeah,
and I was like, leave them.
Yeah,
because that's pretty smart.
That's
right?
pretty cool. So it's not as nefarious as we'd like to all.
Man, you just get so wrapped up in your head.
Yeah.
Of that stuff, but it isn't like that. I just don't think so. I mean, and then there's just folks that I don't know, make bad decisions, tear your stuff down. I mean, that does happen.
I'll never forget. I'm not gonna tell names or anything else, but it's when I had the TV station in Powell, and I would work shift on TV. I would go from like 8 at night until 2 in the morning, or maybe sometimes 3 in the morning. And then I'd drive back here, catch a little rest, get up and do the morning show. I was coming down Clinton Highway, and right there at Edgemore Road, that big red light, there was a truck down in the medium. And I thought somebody had ran off the road, right? Because it was just sitting there, no lights or no nothing. I pulled up, and it was a candidate taking another candidate's signs and putting them in his truck. Oh yeah. And they're scurrying. Oh, this has been a long time ago. We're going back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. And I stopped. I said, hey, so-and-so. And I don't know how they didn't see me coming up. It was just me on the road and them. Startled them. I said, what are you doing? Which I knew what he was doing. He was like, this just fell, and I was putting it back up. Yeah. That wasn't the case. But
well, I remember in 22, someone signed. And honestly, this was a commissioner and my opponent had this thing where the guy run for commission had signed up in Oak Ridge, and his sign was gone.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody could have took it. I don't know what happened. Right? But so my opponent shows up, puts a sign up, and there's 2 T-posts down there. So he just hangs his sign.
You're supposed.
He's like, oh, this saves time. And so that turned into a whoo. And I was just like, good night. Like,
don't ever do that.
Anybody out there running for office, if there's 2 T-posts sitting there, they're not for you.
I remember putting out signs and It was Curtis when Curtis did brand new ordinances here, codes enforcement, and he was telling me where I could put signs, and I got confused. I put one up in somebody's field, and I went and it was gone. I was immediately, somebody's stealing my signs. I was all mad going on, and then I get a call. They're like, hey, did you hang a sign there? And I said, yeah. And they're like, well, it's at my house. Come get it. That's my property. I didn't give you permission to put a sign there. But I was convinced that somebody stole my sign.
Oh, yeah. So, 22, I get this call from a guy, and he tells me, hey, I have a field. You can put a big 4x8 up there. I said, okay, great. Now we get out there. It's a well-traveled road. It was a great location, but nothing was marked. Right.
So you didn't know which.
So we're like, well, we know he lives there. This has got to be the field he's talking about. Right? Because there was no fence. We didn't have, so we go down there and said, sign up, take pictures. 2 days later, I get a call from the owner that says, wrong field. And so I call the guy back. I said, is that your field? I go, like you got like livestock in that one. I mean, so it happens, but
it does.
If somebody accidentally puts one in your yard, just call them. They'll come get it.
I really do wish everybody could go through it one time, because, you can look back and laugh like we are, but in the midst of it, it's not funny most of the time. It's stressful, and you're running. You might lose, you might win.
Between just the misinformation that gets out, and the people just thinking that it happens.
Somebody told me something about this yesterday, and so I didn't know if I could say anything or not, because I was told that this agency might be.
They were here.
Okay. Yes, I was told before they got here, but I didn't know if I was supposed to tell or not. But ICE came here yesterday.
They were here yesterday.
Yes.
I spoke with the state coordinator. We were aware they were coming.
Yes.
Right. And I have full communication with them. Matter of fact, we've been texting this morning.
Okay.
They're not in Anderson County today.
But they were yesterday.
But they were yesterday.
Did they get anybody?
I haven't heard yet. I don't think so.
If they do they bring them to you or how does that work? Or do they have their own facility?
They can, but we're so close to Knoxville, they probably just run them over to Knoxville.
Would they communicate to you that they had pulled somebody out and took them?
Yes.
So you'll know when or if they do.
I had eyes and ears with them.
Okay.
So we don't have anybody attached to us like some of these larger agencies do. But I had my zone car help them navigate the local landscape.
When they come, do they come for a specific reason? They have something, they're looking for somebody?
Yeah, they're looking for somebody.
So they're not just running willy-nilly through
No, like I got a call. They were here once before out in the county, and I got a call from a business owner. And he was, I wouldn't say mad. He was just confused.
Yeah.
Okay. He had employed 3 people that had what he believed was legitimate paperwork.
Gotcha. Okay?
Sure. And I don't even know how that portion of it works from an employer standpoint.
Me neither.
But he was satisfied that he was doing his thing. And one of the 3 had warrants from another state where he committed a crime in Florida.
Gotcha.
And he was on ICE's radar. But when they caught him, the other 2 who hadn't committed a crime were there too.
So they took them.
So when, of course, ICE in short order says, yeah, this documentation is not legitimate. So all 3 got hauled off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the rules.
I mean, it's like when you're trying to catch, when you take your net and you're trying to catch menace.
And you accidentally grab something else.
And you grab blue, I cut it up and use it as bait too.
There you go, yeah.
So, but yeah, so that they're not, and I'm not saying it's, look, from that standpoint, again, I may be too naive, but I don't think they're running around snatching folks.
Well, you just dealt with them.
They're just saying, hey, you look Hispanic, so let's stop and check you out. There's plenty of people that they're tracking and going after, right? And now, if you are here illegally and you happen to be
in the car with somebody
with your cousin that's done something, then that's just
you're going to pay the price of being here illegally.
Yeah, and so I don't think I just don't believe that
under any circumstance, as a law enforcement officer, can you find any kind of justification for what's going on again in Minneapolis?
No.
I mean, any.
You talking about?
I'm talking about attacking ICE and attacking the stuff that they're doing.
Listen, I don't.
I mean, it's not just Minneapolis. I focused on that because it seemed like the protests are there.
So here's where, look, it's a crime to interfere with law enforcement. Okay, period. And if for example, that shooting, I mean, that is just disgusting to me from the standpoint of how people left of center have responded to that. Okay,
calling him a murderer, calling him.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the only thing she had to do was not impede traffic. You survive police encounters. It's 100% survival rate when you comply.
100%. Yes.
You always survive.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, don't impede traffic. Move your car. That ain't got a thing to do with you. All right. And I'm telling you, you don't know, you don't understand it when you have seconds and a car's coming at you. You have to make the determination. Is this a deadly threat or not? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and particularly since you've been combative and arguing with them as
all day.
I mean, I don't know what you want. You know, we've talked about. I had a guy.
Do you think people are just brainwashed? I mean, honest to goodness, how? I said the other day, I don't understand how people can be this dense. Our Congress, our Senate, our legislators, state and federal, they set forth these laws of how you come in and out of this country. They've voted on them. They've changed them. They've amended them over time. But here, that's what they are today. And they're the very people that voted for those laws are now encouraging what we're seeing against ICE, that are just enforcing these laws
that they put in place.
And now they're calling them murderers and all these other things and risking their lives when they set them up to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they could change the laws. They could say, hey, it's free. Anybody can come. They could do it today if Republicans wanted to.
So for me, and this is now as Russell Barker, not Sheriff Barker, right?
Yeah.
The two things that just are under my skin right now from a national standpoint are, one, Obama deported 5 million people.
Tom Homan worked for Obama. That's where he got his job in ICE.
Yes. And
he deported way more people than he has.
Everybody was cool with it.
Yeah.
This is about a segment of our population that just hates Trump's style. And he's brash and loud, and there's a lot of showmanship. He saber rattles.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, I believe that keeps us safe.
I think he's getting done exactly what he said. People get so angry, but he told us every single thing he wanted to do, and he's doing it. So I don't know why people get so upset. He told you what he's going to do.
And so I've had this a couple times, somebody tell me, and I have to pick and choose my battles on how much energy I'm going to give it, right? But I've heard the statement twice now, and I've seen it other places on social media. ICE are not real police.
Baloney.
And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Whether it be someone employed by the federal government as an ICE agent, or it's a task force officer who has been put on loan from a municipality or a sheriff's office, they are not police. But yet, when Bob says his name's Jill, I have to say, yes, that's a woman.
You have to acknowledge that's a woman, but you can't acknowledge that the county officer that's helping ICE is actually a trained ICE officer.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I'm like, that. I'm
What's going on in the world?
You can't have it both ways. I mean,
well, the pedigree behind the officer that did commit that shooting is a 27-year pedigree of law enforcement that started with service to the country in the military.
Yeah,
and it's been law enforcement through I don't know the stages, what agencies, but he's consistently been in law enforcement, and he's highly educated in law. So it wasn't like we just got some local yokel to throw on the vest and he shot somebody. This is a person that had been hit before by a car and drug in June of last year, so he already was a little gun shy of that.
100%.
And two, the culprit had spent 5 or 6 hours following them and impeding what they were trying to do. And again, he's a trained officer. So his instinct is to do what 27 years of law enforcement tells him to do when somebody's trying to hit you, or you perceive they're trying to hit you with a car.
He wants to go home too.
Yeah. And he should be able to.
And I'm going to tell you, when you attach one of your officers to a task force, right, you're not sending your problems. You have to trust their judgment.
And so you don't want that as a representation of you, so you send the best you got available.
Yes. So it's just disgusting to me.
What about the stuff with the church? Isn't that breaking the law? Did you see the people that literally went into the church, disrupted the service, because they thought either the pastor was a member of ICE at his day job, or
I haven't followed that closely, but yes, I've heard.
But is that illegal to go into? Is a church considered a private?
I don't know. It's a great question.
I mean, it would seem to me if you came in and disrupted that, and they can't come into my house and disrupt what I'm doing. So
sure, it would. I think its most basic element, you could make the argument of
trespassing,
disrupting the peace.
Yeah,
I mean, breach of peace. I mean, because you're causing a scene, it's chaotic. I mean, and look, you can't go into a public government meeting and show your hand in.
Yeah.
You can speak your piece, but you can't.
I saw where some of the anti-ICE...
Be disruptive, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
I saw where some of the anti-ICE people were using bullhorns, and they were putting them right against the pro people's ears. And I thought to myself, I'd knock the fool out of you, because you might not be hitting me with your hand, but you're damaging me doing that.
100%.
And well, in one video, one of the guys did hit him.
I saw that one where he cleaned everybody's cloth.
About 5 or 6 of them. They kept on till they made contact with him.
Yes, she in that particular video, he was literally touching the back of his head as he's trying to walk away.
Yeah, kept following with it. Yeah,
not only is he blowing it in the ear,
but he
actually physically makes contact with the back of the guy's head.
And when he makes contact with the guy, it's all bets off. But I just, for the life of me, I don't.
Shocking, had skills, man. Like
he did have skill, yeah. He knew what he was doing. He when they chose to provoke him to that point, I think they all regret that. There's 2 of them for sure that went out they dropped like sacks of potatoes.
Well, the first one that got knocked out, that's the original one that had the bullhorn.
Yes.
And
the rest come to his aid. He knocked all of them out or down.
But he walked up like he do what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
The way he took his gloves and hat off and then just folded like a highlight reel.
Yeah, it was great. I just, again, for the life of me, and I have, I try to see both sides of it. I just can't see anybody that thinks that that's okay. I just don't know anyone that thinks that's okay. It's one thing to stand with a sign and protest. It's another thing to do that to another human being. I just don't. It ain't helping them in anybody's eyes. I know.
You're not. Listen, I had talked with a deputy the other day about. He was feeling frustrated because some suggestions he made were not taken.
Right.
And his what he was basically telling me is I got zero control over it, so I'm I'm just going to shut up, not speak my voice. And I was trying to tell him, you have to have a seat at the table to even have a hope of change, right?
Sure.
So you have to talk to the people you disagree with and say your point. And like
win, lose, or draw, you got to be engaged.
Or Larry Bird says you miss 100% of all the shots you don't take.
Yes.
Well, the same thing. If you don't at least speak your piece, you have to have a seat at the table, because the guy who ain't saying anything, it's like voting. If you don't go vote, you're not
going to affect change.
Yeah. I can't stand people we have in office, but I'm not going to vote. I mean, even if it feels like it's not, it doesn't matter. You still do it.
Well,
I'm so shocked that people don't.
Anybody that's been around here for any length of time will remember the juvenile judge race in a tie. 7,649 votes or whatever it was each. Holy cow, who would have bet on that?
Nobody. Hey.
And I can't tell you the people that came to me that said, I'd give anything if I would have went and voted. On both sides.
In 22, we had a race decided by 14 votes.
Who was?
General Sessions 2.
Oh, wow. Gee whiz. Yeah, so it's important, guys.
Judge Miller by about 14 votes.
That's right, Roger.
Super close.
I'm just saying, get out and vote.
Yeah, I am too.
Especially today, in this day and time, not just locally, but state and national.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like things are coming unglued.
Well, it's they've made it so convenient with early voting and
easy to do.
And you can make the time for it.
Anything else going on at the Sheriff's Department you need folks to know about? You got anything coming up? You got new patches? You got anything going on?
No, we're shut down on specialty patches till next year.
Okay.
And when we get back around Halloween and Christmas. Halloween was the first time we'd done that one, but it was hugely successful.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
We just did our veterans breakfast first of the month, and that's so much fun.
I bet.
And those guys, it's such a unique crowd, right? Because it's an older generation, but it's a bunch of veterans. So you don't have. I mean, you can't be rude, but you also don't have to be super proper.
Yeah, no,
because they're not. Their feelings don't hurt.
A bunch of leathernecks.
Yeah, they don't get their feelings hurt, and their sense of humor is so twisted. I mean,
you fit right in, don't you?
Oh, I did. So my opening line was, if everybody raise your right hand, and this is because I was the keynote or the MC, whatever you want to call it. And they all raised their hand, and I said, you guys are here for jury duty. We find that you respond to breakfast much better than a subpoena. And they loved that.
I bet.
But they're fun, and you get to those stories. It's just amazing. We have a guy in Claxton was at the Frozen Chosen, and I mean,
for real.
That's and like I that was part of it. Boot camp. We did a week of basically Marine Corps history. And
learning all about that,
the history of the Marine Corps and significant battles, and but if you actually, I'm not even saying you got to read some big long book, but if you just dig into what those men went through, oh my Lord, and that guy was part of it. I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
You know, we've got a guy here in town that he was World War II, Korea, Vietnam. I mean, he's been to all of them.
Jeez,
I mean. It's just different. Of course, his story's great. He's 15 years old when he
enlisted.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot about his age. It's just a different time.
It was a different time, and you could do that. And they needed warm bodies. They needed people out there to do it.
And somehow we went from 15-year-olds
going out and fighting war, living and dying for the country, to you can stay at your mommy and daddy's on insurance till 26, and if you want to change your gender and become a cow, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You can identify as a rabbit if you want to.
Yeah, or you get offended over pronouns.
Yeah, shut up.
I mean,
I can't do it. I can't. I try, and I'm polite, but if I say you and you want me to say they, I'm probably just going to keep saying you or she or he. I'm not.
So my personal belief on that is, if Jill wants me to call her Bob, I'll do it, because people change names all the time.
That's fine.
Nicknames are. I live and die by nicknames, right?
Yeah.
I got people that. I have a guy that we grew up with, and we called him Sheepdog.
Sheepdog.
It was twofold. His mama cut his hair right across his back, cut his bangs.
Yeah.
Instead of taking him for a haircut.
Sheepdog.
He had a head full of hair, and he looked like Sheepdog. On top of that, he had this really weird thing where his eyes, like, people blink.
Mm-hmm.
His were very long and drawn out.
Slow blink.
He'd say, "Brr." And we called him Sheepdog. Somebody referred to him by his government name, and I grew up with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, still talk to him, but they called him by his real name, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, oh, Sheepdog. I'll never forget. And like, everybody knows him as Sheepdog. And he went bald.
There you go.
But so I don't care. I'll call you if you. Yeah. I'll call you whatever name you want me to use, nickname or whatever you want to call it. But I can't get into. I don't have the bandwidth to determine what your pronouns are, and.
Yeah, but how do you deal with that?
Offensive.
How do you deal with that? You get a call from, I don't know, Walmart telling you there's a guy in the girls' bathroom, and you get there and the guy says, "I'm not a guy. I want to be a woman." What do you do? Which one are you wrong? Because what's his rights? If he born
my opinion
in Anderson County, what happens?
We go by your plumbing.
All right.
Period. When you come to our jail, your plumbing, you can identify all day long as whatever you want, but we don't care. But when we
whatever equipment you have, that's
when we book you in. It's whatever your plumbing says you are.
Okay. And that's so it would when they would be breaking the law if they were in my opinion. Yes. Okay. So there's places that they. What if the business sets up and says it's okay? Like, remember Target did that. Yeah. They said it was okay. Does Target's permission override law?
All right. I would have to look. All right. So let me say this. I don't. Now that you've went there, I can't specifically say there's a statute that says males can't go in female bathrooms.
But if somebody's in there and complains or something like that, does it change?
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, I would completely. I mean, you have to have probable cause.
Gotcha.
To make an arrest.
Gotcha.
You have to believe a crime has occurred or about to occur. Right. Yeah. And then you have to have, or you have to have reasonable suspicion to detain them, probable cause to charge.
Yes.
And then proof beyond reasonable doubt to convict. Right. That's interesting because you're right. There's bathrooms at Coliseum that they label them like family bathrooms. I guess the intent is when you go in, if it's two stall, I don't know. I don't know.
Again, these are conversations I never thought growing up here in East Tennessee I'd be having, trying to determine if guys should play girls' sports and go to the change in the girls' locker room. Yeah, it just
wow. That's
what
the store's policy versus I guess I need to be looking to see if that's statute.
Because there'll be a time when somebody calls and says, my kid was in there and an adult male
that's
came
already happened. Just not here.
Yeah. Oh, no, I just say they'll prank them a time here, and then Target will be like, well, we allow it, and then you guys it is or it isn't against the law.
And then that's when you call Dave Clark and go, got a good one for you.
I'm just glad I don't have little kids anymore, and certainly glad I don't have little daughters. You know what I mean? Jeez Louise. Yeah. I'd go to prison. Sure as we're sitting here, something like that happened. Happy January 2026. This is our first time together this year, so good luck. Happy New Year, buddy.
All right, same to you.
Thanks
Appreciate
for coming,
it.
Russell. I always appreciate it. I always enjoy talking to you, even though we go 2 hours without looking up, taking a breath. You know?
That's what we do.
Have a good and thanks for everybody that called in questions. I hope we got everything answered. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12, or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a